How's it going, people? Well, I have a little something I want to experiment with. Chocolate Jesus juice. Yeah, chocolate rouge. It's chocolate flavored red wine. And this is something that was on sale after Valentine's Day. So I'm going to be my own Valentine and try it out. And I figured it would be appropriate with the Passion of Mel Part 3. Where I focus on Judas Iscariot. A very interesting character. Let's find out what this is all about. Wow, that's interesting. Kind of reminds me of Irish Cream a little bit. Anyway, Judas, that's what I was talking about. All right, we're going to show a little Passion of Mel here, and I'll be breaking in from time to time to put in my 2 cents. So let's start with the Judas taking his bribe, his blood money. And every filmmaker likes to show Judas having to pick the money up off the ground. yeah. Caiaphas is always like, oops, dropped it on the ground. Go get it, biatch. Yeah, so nobody respects Judas.
Latin, Atnar,
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Mel is one hell of a director. And I mean, this looks really tight. It's a cliche, but first of all, this bit about 30 pieces of silver. That's only in the Gospel of Matthew. In Mark and in Luke, he receives some money. In John, there's no mention of any money. And they don't throw it on the ground and make him pick it up, but you'll see that in every movie pretty much, if I remember right. Yeah, except maybe, what is The Last Temptation of Christ? Did they do that to Harvey Keitel? I'd be afraid. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that. I might have to do a little breakdown on that. Anyway, let's move ahead to that arrest scene. So I guess this movie's trying to claim that Jesus invented bungee jumping along with tables and chairs. Oh, and piñatas. He's the human piñata. And we all know from the Gospels that a ghost came out of this wall to scare Judas. Anyway, it's just very dramatic, you know, and it shows that, you know, Judas is going to have to hang around and watch the proceedings. He's not so sure this was a great move after all. Things aren't going according to plan, if he had a plan. So on to the trial. I'm not going to go into the trial in great depth. I'll use some of it. I guess I'm going to do some more later. Different. Unlike this movie. Boy, they sure don't like JC very much, do they? And the beatdown's going to get a lot worse. They're just starting the third degree, and there's Judas hiding in the shadows, racked with guilt, and Peter is hiding behind a pillar. So let's continue with the trial. You know, that point Jesus made about speaking openly in the temples and all that. That's an interesting point. I mean, what do they need a guy to come identify him for if he was that well known? And this whole point about, what are they calling a council meeting this late at night? Isn't this the Passover? Or, I mean, would they really want to risk becoming unclean? Well, anyway, this is a movie made by Gentiles, so, you know, Christians, what do they know about Judaism, right? So let's watch them beat on Jesus some more. That's always fun. Mel likes it.
אמר לנה, אין אנט משיחה, בר אלך החי.
איך הוא יענה? תחזון ברנש יתר בימין חייל. יתר ברנש יתר.
Well, at least Caiaphas was smart enough to smack him and then spit on him. Everybody else just got somebody else's spit on their hands. Now they're definitely unclean before the Passover.
En khasheb dinantent nadan zaku. Dek divrat la. Sepak bida. Hak.
Okay, that's a scene right out of Matthew. And there's no money back guarantee. No, they don't want their money back. That's blood money. It might make them unclean. Then again, in the Acts of the Apostles, Judas still has his money, and he buys his own land with it. And in Matthew, he throws it onto the floor in the temple, and they can't put it back in the treasury. So they buy the land that he's buried on instead. In all the other accounts, in the other 3 accounts, and that's the last you see of Judas, is he got paid, and he's gone. That's it. Mark, Luke, John, Judas betrays Jesus, takes his money, and he's gone. Actually, in John, there's no mention of money. But, so, it's just just Matthew. But I mean, what would they do without Matthew? Matthew gives some closure with Judas. Well, that scene doesn't occur anywhere in the Bible, and it doesn't make a lot of sense either, but, you know, Mel liked it, so that's good enough for me. These little demon kids, there's only 2 of them right now, but they multiply later. Judas is in for one hell of a night. But, anyhow, yeah, Christians really hate Judas, even though if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have Christianity. He was the midwife of their faith, after all. Now, the interesting thing is, if you look at the Gospel of John, there's no demon possession anywhere. That's the only miracle that doesn't happen in John. No demonics. The closest we come to a demonic is when the devil jumps into Judas after he got sent on his mission and, you know, dipping his bread. So anyway, he's in for one hell of a night, and they're going to chase him around all night long out into the desert. And there's going to be more and more of these demon kids. And I don't know where he got that from. Not from here. Yeah, for some reason, the devil was upset that Judas helped to create Christianity. I don't see why. I mean, he's given him more business than anything else. But, yeah, he's in his bald, hooded, creepy guise, and he's stirring up these hallucinatory kids. And then suddenly they're gone, leaving Judas all alone in the desert with his conscience and a dead ass for company. What to do? Well, that's it for Judas, if you believe the account of Matthew, and I don't. I mean, they have 4 Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, and Judas hangs himself only in Matthew. He disappears completely from Mark, Luke, and John, and in the Acts of the Apostles, he survives. He doesn't hang himself. He takes his reward money, which he kept, and he buys a plot of land, but then he mysteriously falls headlong and dashes against the sharp rocks, and his entrails gush out, and Peter describes it in gory detail, like an eyewitness. Was that an act of the apostles, I wonder? But honestly, Jesus wanted to be martyred anyway, right? I mean, where would Christianity be without him? Without Judas? I mean, Jesus would have died of old age for your sins? I mean, how boring. You guys should be calling Judas a saint. Instead, he's like in the lowest pit of hell. Everybody hates Judas for making Christianity possible. And what is up with Jesus picking a guy who was, they say he was a thief. And Jesus knew the hearts of men. He knew who his apostles were before he picked them. He had pre-picked them because he was psychic. He knew the future and he knew the hearts of men. So by picking a thief and making him a treasurer, isn't that like leading somebody into temptation? And isn't that hypocrisy? Because Jesus said, lead us not into temptation. And also, all right, they had 12 apostles, and then Judas died. And in Acts, they had to pick another apostle. But in Matthew, Jesus promised all his apostles that they would have 12 thrones, and they would judge a tribe of Israel, because there's 12 tribes of Israel. That included Judas. What's up with that? I think if you want to write a story after the fact, you can add in all kinds of prophecies, and as time goes by, people look at it and go, wow, that's profound. They predicted that shit. Yeah, I could write a story about Abraham Lincoln and say that somebody predicted his assassination, and he got assassinated for your sins. 1,000 years from now, people might say, whoa, damn, he died for us. Someone predicted that shit in this ancient document. Anyway, that's enough for now. I think I'll pick on Peter next. I'm in the mood. And he's an interesting fellow anyway. So more Mel to come, but not right away. I'll have some fun with some other things. I want to do some more NDE stories, and I need to read some more D&C. Been putting it off. Let me know if this affected you in any way. Did it change your life? Did it give you an idea? Did you learn something? Please share. Peace the fuck out. And have a wonderful, whatever the fuck it is you're having, because I want you to. And not so good when it's warm.